Welcome everyone to this discussion between Justin Lin, professor in Beijing, and myself, Jan Sveinar at Columbia University. We'd like to briefly introduce the volume that we've co-edited called China and the West, which obviously deals with the major topic in today's global governance in the world. It presents 13 chapters on key policy issues, and each chapter is in the form of a policy brief prepared either by a leading scholar or a leading former policy maker. They focus on the role of state in economic development, trade issues, part played by innovation, digitalization, and leadership. Let me just very briefly outline what these three parts into which these chapters belong are about. And then I'd like to turn over to Justin Lin, who will give a little background on how we, in fact, have put this volume together. So part one of the book deals with recent policies and performance, starting with 2 chapters by Justin Lin and myself giving the background. The second part deals with trade issues, tensions, division of labor. And the third part deals with issues related to innovation, digitalization, and leadership. Among the policymakers that we have contributing to the volumes is the former US Secretary of the Treasury, Jacob Lew. We have the chief economist of the World Trade Organization, Robert Koopman. We have the chief economist of the European Investment Bank, Deborah Revoltella. And we have academics, just like Justin and myself, as well as politics, as well as Nobel Prize winners such as Edmund Phelps or Eric Maskin, and leading Chinese professors from several universities. So Justin, if you wouldn't mind, can you tell the audience how we came about? Because it's quite a feat in terms of several years of very intensive work.
Well, I'm very delighted to have this opportunity to organize the conference series, China and the West. And I'd like to provide some motivation for us to do that, because the rise of China in the last half century is one of the most important events in modern time. China used to be one of the poorest countries in the world, but since China started the transition from a socialist planning economy to a market economy, China achieved a middle-class growth and transformed from a poor agrarian economy now to be the second largest economy measured by market exchange rate. But if we measure the economic size by purchasing power parity, China is the largest economy in the world. China is also the largest trading nation in the world. And also China now is the manufacturing center of the world, and a so-called factory of the world. And so in the past, we often thought the only way for modernization, industrialization, was the Western way. And certainly China learned many useful lessons from the Western experiences. But China maintained its own mode of development. And certainly we'd like to know how come it was possible for China to achieve so much within one generation of time. But for China, currently it's only halfway through, because although the total size is big, but on a per capita income basis, China is still a large distance to the advanced country. And so for China, we need to understand whether it is possible to maintain the Chinese way of development and accomplish the catching up. And for the world is also important. If China can continue to grow and become the largest country in the world, what's the implication for the West, and especially for the number one country now, that is US? How to accommodate the rise of China, and what is the challenges ahead? And we need to have a wisdom to understand the issues and to chart a way for the futures. And so that's the purpose of organizing the conference series of China and the West. And I'm especially grateful in 2018, we had a group of major thinkers in academic and a very experienced policymaker to sit down together for 2 days and to debate, to exchange ideas. And I'm also grateful, the participants, spend the time to put their thought into the papers, and so we can collect them together to edit this book. And I think this book is a very important read for people to understand China, the rise of China, and for the rest of the world. Because the rise of China, as I said, is one of the most important events in modern times. It will affect China, but it will also have implications for both advanced country and the developing country. So I'm grateful to have this opportunity to join hands with Yan and with the support of the publishers to put this book together.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. I think the rise of China over the last 4+ decades has been just phenomenal, unmatched by any country. The West has been recognizing it, and the crucial role is how to accommodate indeed the rising economy that China is representing. And as you correctly pointing out, it's the most important trading partner for most of the countries in the world nowadays. And indeed, I think we've been fortunate that we've managed to assemble a lead group of analysts who understand both China and the West, and have been able, through the discussion and the subsequent policy briefs, which are presented in this volume, to give an up-to-date analytical account of what's been happening and how we should in fact proceed going forward. So it's a wonderful collaboration that we've started and that is ongoing, so that there will be more to come. Thank you very much, Justin. And yes, indeed, let's thank our institutions and the publisher for putting this together.
And certainly grateful for Yan, grateful for David, and grateful for Marissa to help to put everything together.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. Thank you.